Very good morning. Very good morning, children. I will start the conservation of plants and animals today. And in this topic, I will especially focus on the importance of the biodiversity. In the last lecture, I explained the different subtopics. In the biodiversity, I explained the endemic species, threatened species. I explained about flora and fauna. I explained about the red data book and other important terms. But today I will focus, since it is very important topic, that is the importance of biodiversity. So when you look at the importance of biodiversity, again I am going to take you back towards the biodiversity. As you know, the biodiversity which explains the variety of plants and animals. In the biodiversity, you notice, you understand the flora and fauna. And in the biodiversity, we will see the important role in our daily life. Like plants are studied under the flora and animals are studied under the fauna. So you have to see that the biodiversity is playing very, very vital role, very important role. Without plants, animals cannot survive. Without animal, plants cannot survive. Both are interdependent. This interdependency story you can easily understand. You can easily enjoy because of many plants, the birds and insects are surviving. Animals get their place in the plants, and plants are very importantly going to get benefit from animal. You are surprised to know that plants, the pollination and the germination, the plants cannot pollinate without the help of animals. So when I am going to prove that plants and animals both are interdependent, both are mutually dependent, it's okay, it's true. When I am going to explain, there is a great role of the biodiversity in the society. Yes, it is true. Because without biodiversity, without flora and fauna, this universe cannot run. So there is importance of biodiversity in our life. You will see when I am talking about the flora, like the biodiversity, you can easily understand flora and fauna, animals and plants. So when we are going to see, many medicines are made with the help of, prepared with the help of many plants and animals. Yes, there are certain plant species which is used in preparation of medicine. Many fungi, many antibiotics, when you have heard about the penicillin, that is prepared from one special fungi, Penicillium notatum. So penicillin is prepared from the one fungi, and that fungi is called Penicillium notatum. Quinine, the medicine for the malaria, this chloroquine is prepared from a plant, bark of the cinchona tree. So many things, many medicines are prepared from the plants. So when it is used in the preparation of medicine. So plants' role are very, very vital, very important role. Many medicine Many medicinal industry like industry of medicine, it is situated in some big industries are uh, there in the Chandigarh, in Dehradun region, where the flora, the variation of plants are maximum in our country. In the Himalayan region, lower Himalayan region, there are very important medicinal plants are there in our country. So the flora is playing very vital role in the medicine industry. So the biodiversity importance, when I look at this in medicine. So very first importance is in the medicine. Many plants, many animals extract like calcium, phosphorus are prepared from the horn of the teeth of tusks of the elephant. Some animal products are there in the medicine also. So you have to understand, you have to write the importance of the biodiversity in medicine industry. When we go for the another importance, the big importance in construction, the many species of plants which are in the building, in the industry, in other industry, like in the construction, there is vital role. You can write for the flora, you can write from flora in the construction. Number 3, in food industry. So flora 5F, I'm just going to tell you 5F. You can get food, we are getting from flora food, fuel. From flora, fuel is prepared, no doubt. Food, fuel, fodder. Fodder means green grasses. Like many cattle, they eat the green grasses, cherries, barsim. So from food, you can get 5F. Food, fuel, fodder, fiber, and then furniture. So as far as the importance of the biodiversity is concerned, we can easily write we are getting food from the plants, from the plant variation, no doubt. We are getting fuel from the plants. Fossils, when the plants are buried under the earth, it converted into fossil. Coal fossils are there, and from the coal you can prepare the fuel. Petrol and diesel is prepared from the fossil, right? Then for the green grasses, the big grasses are there which is used as a food material for the cattle. And the fiber, there are different fibers which are used in cloth industry. So we are getting from the plants. That is why the big importance of the plants in our life. Now the furniture, many item of the building, many things are prepared from the plants. So there is important role. Now moving to the fauna. When I am telling you the fauna, without animals plant cannot survive, and without plants animal cannot survive. So many places the role of animals are there. Like in the medicine, there are, as I told you, as explained you, that there are many animals which part is used as a medicine in making medicine industry, in making so many medicine. Some plants, bone calcium is used in so many medicine. You will see when you see the composition of any medicine, then you will be able to see, look, you will find that some animals extract are there in the medicine. When you go for another importance in the construction, in food industry, in bakery industry, some animals are used. There are vital role of animals. So as far as the importance of biodiversity, you can write 3-4 main importance of biodiversity. Okay. So moving to the next topic of the conservation of plant and animal. The cause of loss of biodiversity. What are the causes of loss of biodiversity? Causes of when we look at the causes of biodiversity loss, we are damaging our biodiversity. We are killing our animals. We are destroying our beautiful natural beauty. So why? What is in their root? Why we are going to kill our murder our animals? Why there is ban on hunting and poaching is very much required? Why there is a need of protection of plants and animals? Why we are going to establish national parks, bird sanctuaries, biosphere reserve? Why there is need of such? Yes, there is need of all these protection and conservation because there are certain causes of the biodiversity loss. We are going to erode our soil. The wrong method, forest fire. So you can write the causes of loss of biodiversity. Number 1, soil erosion. Easily you can understand there are many plants and animals which are killed, which are damaged because of the erosion of the soil. And how the soil is going to be eroded? Because of wrong method of plowing, because of the high rainfall, because of the forest fire, we are going to erode our soil. And this soil erosion is the main cause of the loss of biodiversity. Number 2, you can see forest fire. Establishing the industry. Establishment. Because of our so-called development, we are going to develop the industry, we are going to construct the building, establishment of industry, construction of building. So when we go for the forest fire, sometimes we think that let us develop the agricultural field, let us develop the industrial field, and for that we fire the forest, and by this we are going to damage our biodiversity. We are going to kill the numerous number of small insect creature of the this forest. Then establishment of industry. Some industries, they require the space, and for that we are going to cut our trees, we are going to develop industry, we are going to construct the building. So there are 3-4 important reasons behind this biodiversity loss, and that is why the government is going to establish the national parks for the preservation of the plants and animals. We are going to develop the bird sanctuary especially focused on the survival of the animals and plants. We have to develop a big sphere, biosphere reserves. Biosphere reserve where the animals and the human activities will be going on in that big sphere, biosphere reserve. There are 2 biosphere reserve in our country, but as far as the national parks, there are many national parks like Corbett National Park, Gir National Parks in the Gujarat, Corbett in the Uttarakhand, and in the Pachmadi there are some other like Dudhwa National Parks. So national parks are established to conserve our plants and animals, because the plants and animals are going to be extinct day by day. They are going to face the risk of extinction, they will be killed, they will be disturbed, and because of these activities, our biodiversity is facing risk of extinction. the facing risk of the many species are kept in the red data book. The number of species, many species are no more in the universe. So there are category. I told you that critically endangered category, which are going to, some animals are going to extinct in immediate future. They are critically endangered. Immediate future, within 5 years, they are going to extinct. Threatened species, vulnerable, which will be facing high risk of extinction after the 10 years, in near future. Not immediate future, when they are facing risk of extinction in immediate future, they are critically endangered, and threatened species and vulnerable species which will be facing risk of extinction not immediately but after 10-15 years. So there are category of species, there are certain category in which you can keep. Now you cannot see the frog, you cannot see the many snakes, because every year we are killing the frogs. Children, in 2001 the CBSE has brought one special rule regulation that there should be ban on dissection in the lab. I want to tell you, I have given my signature in that rule regulation that no dissection work will be on after 2000, because every laboratory was responsible for murder of 2000-5000 frog species. Initially it was there in the code that you dissect the frog, the digestive system and other, to know the anatomy of body. Every colleges, every inter-college and high school were conducting a practical exam, and in that practical exam we were given the frog to dissect, and now this is totally banned because of this extinction problem. So when we are going to face, now we should understand, when there will be no life, what we will be conserving. So before that extinction, we should very much worried about the conservation of plants and animals, and that is why the government is establishing the Biosphere Reserve national parks and as I told you, biosphere reserves are a very big area in which the human activities, the cultivation and the agricultural practices could be continued. But in the national parks, that is a restricted area where the human activities, the human action, the human agricultural practices could not be possible. And the bird sanctuaries, it is also like in the Ghana, in Rajasthan, you can see the bird sanctuary, Keola bird sanctuary, where the public work could be on a little bit. So the bird sanctuary, these are the special places where the plants, number of animals can be preserved, number of plants can be preserved. In these center, what is the sole purpose? To save our plants and animals. Like in the Cockerel in the Lucknow, the breeding center for the crocodile, to preserve the species of crocodile, the breeding center is there. So what is the main aim of the government? To save our plants' life and to save our animal life. The government is spending money for to save the plants and animal life. You have already completed that red data book, the red data book. What is the red data book? It is a book which keeps the record of the plants and animals. There are many species of plants and animals which are facing the risk of extinction, and they are kept in the red. If their name is in the red data book, it means it is alarming. It is not good sign for the plants and animals. It is not good sign for the society, because in the red data book the number of animals are added. Now they will be no more within 10 years. They are going to extinct. Either they are critically endangered or they are facing the risk of extinction in near future, and they will be known as the threatened species, critically endangered species, and at the end, when there are very limited number of those plants and animals, they will be kept in the red data book. It is keeping a record of plants and animals which are facing high risk of extinction. So, in this topic, in this module, you have to understand the importance of the biodiversity. The causes of the loss of biodiversity. What are the main causes of the biodiversity? Our needs, our requirement. People are unable to fail. There is one rule in 1973 Tiger Project. There is ban on hunting. In the Corbett National Park, one Jim Corbett, he was a very famous man for the conservation of the forest life. So the main focus for the conservation of animals and conservation of plant. In the conservation of plants and animals, we should establish these biosphere reserve, national parks, bird sanctuaries, and there is one rule regulation, the Tiger Project. Tiger Project 1973, the ban on hunting, ban on killing of, because there are rule and regulation, no person can kill any leopard, any tiger, any animal of the forest. So now the government is taking very hard action, a very hard step against these very criminals. So Tiger Project. Now children, you have to develop your capacity about the importance. Last point I would like to explain, and that is, when we are cutting the trees for our needs, for our requirement, like when we write, when we go for the study, we need notebook, we need book, and for the notebook, for the book, we need paper. To how to save the paper? Now, how to save the paper? Because how to reutilize. What are the methods? What are the steps for the saving paper? We should recycle the paper, number one, by recycling. We can recycle the paper, we can use it many times. Number two, go for the use of 2 pages. Both the pages should be used. Use both the pages. Use both the pages. Both side of the paper. Because sometimes when we tear the paper and we throw the paper, but before that we should write at both sides. Okay, and we should prefer, like in the banking sector and many sector, paperless work. Nowadays you can see easily NEFT and RTGS, there is a minimum use of paper. So now we have to save our plant, because sometime when we require the for the paper, we go for the disturbing we cut the trees. To save our paper, we should minimize that requirement. Only that will help to save our plants and trees. We should think about the saving of paper. We should prefer minimum use of paper, because when there will be high increase in population, there will be high demand of paper, there will be high demand of house, there will be high demand of medicine. So we should not depend on trees only, we should think some substitute, some alternate, and children are able to understand those things, and you will be knowing better ways how to save our plants and animal life. In this module, now I am going to give you few assignments, few questions for this. The first one, write any three importance of biodiversity. Okay, write about the biosphere reserve, number 3, write any 5 ways to protect paper. Write any 5 ways to minimize use of paper. At the end, you can define these words, or you can write the causes of loss of diversity. Mention any 4 main causes of loss of biodiversity. Causes of loss of biodiversity. So these are the questions for today's assignment. Number 1, write any 3 importance of biodiversity. Number 2, write about the biosphere reserve. You can write what is the biosphere reserve, what we do, what is the importance of this. Now, any 5 ways to minimize use of paper. Now we should see alternate of the paper. We should think how the paper use can be minimized. Because of this, we will be saving our plants species. Okay. Now the mention 4 main causes of loss of. As I explained you, as I told you that what are the different different causes of biodiversity, our human need, our establishing industries, and constructing building. So many things are happening because of that. These small things, we are going to damage our wonderful nature, our wonderful forest. So at the end, I would like to say that please conserve your nature and natural beauty. Thank you.